morning. Well, practically good afternoon, huh? Thank you so much for being here today. We do have a few people still checking in, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and start our presentation. We appreciate everybody arriving, being here on time, just showing the interest in your children's middle school experience. So thank you so much. If you need translation, we are going to be presenting today only in English, just due to the amount of time we have. But we have headphones. So, de hecho, voy a decir esa parte en español. Si usted ocupa la presentación en español, vamos a hacer la presentación en inglés, pero tenemos audífonos y la increíble Marcela nos va a ayudar con la traducción. Entonces, si se ocupa español, si se puede levantar la mano y le vamos a traer los audífonos y ahí va a poder escuchar toda la presentación en español. Y sin pena. Aquí hablamos los dos lenguajes, entonces sin pena. Muy bien. Okay, and so I need to switch back to English now. So we're going to go ahead and begin. I'm going to just quickly go over the agenda and then we'll present to you our team. So today you will meet the 7th grade team. We'll go over student schedules. We'll talk about uniform. We will have a time to learn about PE. We'll go over our behavior and conduct policy. We're also going to talk about Tubular Ed, electives, grading and honor roll, study hall, graduation requirements, supply boxes, and questions. So that is our plan for today. I'm going to begin by introducing myself. So I am Megan Ramirez. I'm the associate principal here, and my focus is the middle school. So I'm the one that might be calling you, or if you have any concerns, you're also welcome to contact me. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to our middle school staff so that they can tell you who they are and what content area they work in.
Hi everybody, Mr. Guglielmo, kids call me Coach G. I teach physical education to the entire school, K through 8, and I also am the school's athletic director, so I'm in charge of all the sports teams. So any team that we have at Easter, I manage those teams. If there is a sport that your student wants to play that we don't normally do, I can look into whether or not we are able to get into a league, so always open to ideas.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Woboda, or Coach W. I am also part of the PE department. I am not part of middle school. I teach TK through 6th grade, but I am new this year, so good morning.
Hello, my name is Coach Johnson. Most of the kids know me as Coach Johnson, Coach Jerry. I am also one of the lead teachers, and I work with everybody in the entire school from TK all the way to 8th grade. On top of teaching physical education, I am also the middle school flag football coach and basketball coach. So if your daughter or son is interested in joining sports, just reach out to us. And then on a side note, we are always open to have any sport here at Easter, but we are looking for coaches. So if you guys know uncles, aunts, even yourself is willing to coach, we are always looking for coaches. And of course, you'll have to go through a certain I guess, protocol in order to become a coach, but we're always looking for coaches.
Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Morris. I'm one of the 7th grade math and science teachers. I'm also the lead teacher for the 7th grade as well as the math and science department.
Hello everyone, so nice to see so many faces. My name is Mrs. Ahora and I'm the school counselor for the middle school.
Hi, my name is Mr. Balbuena. I am the 7th grade ELA and history teacher as well as the front teacher.
And my name is Mr. Frazier. I teach math and science for 7th grade. I also run the greenhouse program. And I'd love to see all of you join us.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Griffin, and I am one of the 7th grade ELA and social studies teachers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rosario Villarreal. I am the executive director here at Eastern Charter School. My job is technically really just to support each and every one of these individuals here, from the teachers to the administration to the parents. Most importantly, your children, your students. So any questions, any concerns that you have, we have our administration. I'm also here to support you by supporting my staff to ensure that your kids are learning and having positive experiences as much as they can. We also have two other administrators who are not able to be here with us today because they're busily working, getting ready for tomorrow. We have Dr. Simon, who is our STEM principal. She also assists with middle school, and we also have Mr. Gordillo, he's our backup principal. He also assists with middle school, but for all intents and purposes, all support, all communication that needs to come through administrator will start with Mrs. Ramirez, who is an amazing person. She is caring, loving, and she will do anything and everything to make sure that your kids are safe here in school. And when she needs to, she will make sure that they understand that we have high expectations for them. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna see if this clicker wants to work with you today, otherwise we'll have to do it manually. Okay, so we're gonna start today going over uniform, and we are gonna spend a little bit of time talking about this, and then we'll sort of pick up the pace with some of our other points. I wanted to talk about uniform because if you have, I'm gonna go ahead and click out. We are gonna visit our Eastern Charter Middle School Student Handbook. And if you have this paper, you can pull it out. It's a colorful skinny sheet that you should have gotten at the entrance. And you'll see on the right-hand side, we have our Eastern Charter Middle School Handbook, and we have a QR code. I strongly suggest that you take this piece of paper, put it on your refrigerator at home with a magnet. Any question that you have most likely will be answered in this handbook. We would like, especially as becoming 7th grade parents, for you to take the time and read through the handbook as much as you can. It's set up in a very easy to understand way. You'll, in this handbook, you'll be able to find a lot of important information, including our mission statement, our goals, contact information for the different principals, as well as pictures of our staff. You can see the different teachers. You can see the map of our middle school, our calendar for the year, our important holidays and dates to be looking for, our middle school schedule. So what the schedule looks like, information about mind labs, and then the part that is very important as we're thinking about coming to middle school, ready to go, dressing for success. I have a little bit of information about uniforms. So there are some changes this year for uniforms, and we are going to be enforcing uniforms beginning Monday. So we expect for all kids to come in uniform tomorrow, but we also realize that you might need time to go out and purchase some of the uniforms. So beginning Monday, we will begin to enforce the following. So boys or girls as well will need to wear a maroon polo shirt or blouse, only maroon. We're no longer accepting black, not white, just maroon. On the bottom, they can wear khaki, so it can be either khaki trousers, a skirt, a pair of shorts, no jeans of any kind, or they can also wear black. So on the bottom, it can be khaki or black. On the top, it must be maroon, no other color. Then for makeup and hair, mascara and lip gloss are okay for girls, but we don't want kids coming to school fully makeup. No acrylic nails, and no dyed hair. So that would be our rules for hair and makeup. And then accessories, no hoop earrings or anything that could cause injury. Hats are not allowed except for when they're outdoors, unless it's being used for religious purposes or cultural purposes. And then shoes, we are going to enforce shoes, and you can read in more detail later in the handbook, but shoes were closed-toed shoes. So no sandals, no Crocs, none closed-toed shoes. And then for our PE uniform, I'll just go over this briefly because our PE coaches will probably bring it up again. But we have a gray or white shirt And then we have burgundy or gray sweater, so no logos. It would only be the school provided t-shirt or a solid colored t-shirt. And then black athletic pants or shorts. And shoes with laces and no jewelry whatsoever during PE. And again, our coaches will talk about that a little bit more. And so you'll see, I'm not going to go through the rest of the handbook, but you'll find that there's quite a bit of information in there. So please take the time to look through that. And then we're going to go back to our presentation. All right. Okay, so schedule. So our schedule this year has changed from last year. Probably many of you are aware of that. We've shortened our day. The first change is going to occur during breakfast. So during breakfast, we will now have the school open from 7:30 to 7:55 for breakfast. There won't be, in the past, you might remember that students would grab their breakfast after school began, and then we had an ingress time. We won't have that anymore. So in order for students to eat breakfast before school, they need to arrive from 7:30 to 7:55. At 7:55, the kitchen will close, the bell will ring, and students will have 5 minutes to go to class, and at 8 a.m. they will begin class on the dot. If your child is not going to be eating breakfast, just know that they will not be allowed on campus until 7:55, okay? And then you'll see that school begins at 8, we have snack, lunch, electives. Dismissal will now be at 2:45 on regular school days and 1 o'clock on minimum day. If your child would like to participate in clubs, those will still be occurring from 2:45 to 3:15. We also will be offering some tutoring and different options, but we'll be in contact with you in the next week or so about that. And we highly encourage you to participate, have your kids participate in the clubs. They're really great enrichment opportunities for students, and it also will help you to get closer to that original release time if you were used to that 3:15 release time. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on now to the PE coaches.
Thank you. So we already went over our introductions earlier. You met me, Coach G, Coach Johnson, and Coach Laboda. We also have 3 instructional assistants. You've been here before, you already know them. Coach Liz, Coach Leslie, and Coach Luis will be here starting tomorrow. And at some point, they will all be interacting with the middle schoolers. So you guys already know them. We're going to move on to the next slide. So a couple of notes about 7th grade physical education. It is a step up from elementary school. We have more time, a lot more time with the 7th graders. It becomes a little bit more conceptual, a little bit more academic, but still a lot of physical parts to our classes. 7th graders specifically will be tested on all 6 fitness tests every quarter. The idea is to show growth over the quarters. So we start with our first quarter fitness testing, and each quarter they will hopefully improve in as many areas as possible. Throughout the year, students will create their own physical fitness plan personalized to them based on their results. They'll learn about fitness concepts that help them create their plan. We'll guide them through it, and then they can retest it every quarter. So their fitness plan is a big part of what they do, is a large part of the grade. Students in 7th grade later on this year will also complete a full first aid CPR AED certification. We get all of our middle schoolers first aid CPR certified every year. It is good for 2 years. We have a professional trainer come in, and they come in and do full CPR certification. It's a great skill to have, so that'll be part of their curriculum this year also, and it will be factored into their grade. In terms of makeups for PE, a large number of questions we get throughout the year is, do I have to make this up? Do I have to make up whether it was a workout or if it was an assignment? The answer is always yes. Every time a student is absent, if they miss PE, it is the student's responsibility to come and find out what they missed. So most likely they would have missed something. They probably missed some kind of physical activity, whether it was a structured workout or something else. There's a chance they may have missed a written assignment or a lesson that needs to be made up. So the student is responsible for coming and checking with us anytime they're absent. You will be getting a full detailed missed workout and assignment policy sent home digitally also. And the last thing, PE uniforms. Ms. Ramirez just went over what they look like, but the questions we get are, do I have to wear a PE uniform on spirit days? Do I have to wear them on a field trip day? Students who are in PE always have to wear their PE uniforms on their PE days. There are two exceptions: picture days and Halloween. So we love when people come dressed up on Halloween. I'd rather you not come in PE uniform on Halloween. Please come dressed up. But those are the two times. If it's not picture day and if it's not Halloween, you wear your PE uniform on your physical education days.
Mr. G, we have a online question from one
Okay.
of our parents. They are asking, do seventh graders need to go to school tomorrow in their PE uniform?
Yes, obviously, like we'll be a little lenient on the uniform for the first couple of days, but we should be in full swing by Monday. Please come in. We're gonna start with an activity tomorrow. So yes.
Great.
So that is it. We go to our next slide. And I will do that. One thing to remind you guys, not only do we do fitness testing every quarter, but students are rewarded for their efforts because in addition to your honor roll and other certificates that you get at the honor roll ceremony, we also give out an Easter Fitness Achievement Award to any student who achieves the healthy fitness zone in at least 5 out of the 6 tests. So everybody can do it with effort. It's open to everybody. If you pass 5 out of the 6 healthy fitness zones or more, you'll get your Fitness Achievement Award in that quarter. And for a minute or two, Coach Johnson's going to go through our heart rate monitors or AUPs. And you do have those at the back of your packets, and I would love for them to be signed and turned in ASAP, but he'll tell you a little more about that.
Yes, so as you know, we're in the technology age. So in physical education, our students will use heart rate monitors, and they will use iPads as well to complete their fitness plans and their health plans. So before we can get to using those things, parents, you do have to sign an AUP form. And this says that you're liable for the heart rate monitors or the iPads in the event that your student does something they're not supposed to do, like playing around with their friend. A number of things can happen, right? We do understand that accidents happen, so they won't be held liable for an accident in that sense. But if they're playing around with their friend, pulling down their arm, and they pull the heart rate monitor off, and it falls and it hits the ground and cracks, the screen cracks, they will be responsible for taking care of that. So we'll make sure to do our best to get our students to understand, like, this is expensive and it's important, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, is what we say as parents. So if you look at the cost of a heart rate monitor, it is $140 for the monitor itself, and then the actual wristband would be $15. So if any of those are damaged through neglect, then you guys will be responsible for that. Parents communicate with us. So the best way to get a hold of us, I would say, is through Jupiter, but sometimes because of sports and a lot of other things that are going on, we might not be able to get to you as quickly as possible through Jupiter or email. Your best bet is to just call the school, use the extension that you see up there, and if we're not teaching a class, there's never really a time where we haven't answered the call. So if you really need to get a hold of us right away, just go ahead and call our classroom. We do have an open door policy. We would love for parents, now that things are settling down with COVID, I mean, we still have to be responsible and protect ourselves. But we would love for parents to come in and see some of the things that we're doing, especially when your student gets to use the heart rate monitors. A part of their grade is going to be based on workouts, and they're using heart rate monitors. Whereas back in the day, PE teachers would just simply look at your student, and if they were working hard, so they thought, right, then they would get a decent grade or a good grade. And if they looked like they weren't putting much effort in, then they would not do so well. So the heart rate monitors kind of eliminates that. The students earn their grades. So they'll do the workout if their heart rate is above 140 beats per minute, which every student, doesn't mean you have to be athletic or playing a sport in order to do great in PE. We understand that in physical education, we're serving general population, not just athletes. So that's not what PE is. And that would be unfair anyway to do that. So we would love for you guys to come on in and check it out. And plus, it holds students accountable as well. You know, we understand that their education period is a partnership between you, us, and the students. So as long as both of us are, you know, encouraging our students to, you know, do their academics and do their work and do what's right, then we don't see why they can't have success. Yes, so as Coach T has already announced, please turn those AUPs in as soon as possible because by Friday, because we're going to start using them on Monday. If your student turns it in before the due date, which is Friday, automatically they will get 100%. So we want your students to start off on the right foot. I know you guys do. So as you're sitting there, you can fill those out and then drop that off in one of the boxes back there, or you can take those. We've had parents come to our classroom, so we're out there. You can come see our classroom and say hi to us if you want. But thank you.
I just want to briefly talk about the counseling department that we have here at Eastern Charter School. I am the counselor for the middle school, so the 7th and 8th grade will be seeing me. A couple of things that I want to clarify: the counseling program is not therapy. We do provide therapy through an agency, but not here on campus. Also, 100% of the students have access to the counseling department at any given time during the school day. So we do not get permission slips to talk to the kids if the kids want to talk to us. And I'll go over how to contact me or how the kids can contact me as well. If it is a specialized service, like I offer a small group on different topics, then I will reach out to you as a parent and inform you that I am inviting the students to participate in a small group. That way you can give your consent for those specialized services. However, most of our services are universal services, so all students do have access and will get information on social emotional learning and different important social topics. If at any point there's any concerns, on here, on the presentation, the bigger one, it's too small to see. So if you'd like to take a picture right here, that is my phone number to my cell phone. You are welcome to use it to call me, not to prank me, but to call me and let me know if you have any concerns, any questions, any help that you may need. Also, the students in 7th and 8th grade know, and actually the 6th graders from our last year also know that there is a way to get in direct contact with me without having to go through a teacher or anybody else, especially for confidential matters that they may not feel comfortable talking to anybody else about. So one of the ways, or the way that they know how to do this, is through this QR code. Every single classroom is equipped with an English and a Spanish version that the student scans with their iPad, and that form comes directly to me. They inform me what the issue is, and that way I can go ahead and address it. A couple of other things. Anything having to do with harm or danger, parents, you will always be contacted. I will not keep secrets from our parents when it involves harm or danger. However, my services are confidential because that is my responsibility to make sure that I have that trusting relationship with first student. So if at any time you have questions about what we may have talked about with a student that didn't involve harm or danger, please talk to your student. That is going to be always the number one recommendation to have an open communication with your student. So just a couple of the modalities that I work with and that I do individual counseling, because sometimes particular students have particular needs. And so I may meet with them individually. Like I said earlier, I also run small groups. I am also in charge of academic counseling, which is making sure that your child not only understands what is required of them academically, but if you're struggling, I can go ahead and address that with tips, tricks, suggestions, and also conversations with the parents when it's necessary. Also, I'm not only here because of your student. I'm here for you as well. As a parent, you are important. You are the second half to our team. And without you, we can't do a lot of the work that we aim to do. So if at any point, any of our families are struggling with anything, literally anything that you may not know
who to reach out to if anything exists, if the service exists. You can go ahead and reach out to us, because if I don't have the answer, I will find it for you. I will direct you to the right places. We have community partners, community agencies that we work with that can provide, information from financial assistance, home assistance, job searches, anything like that, clothing, diapers, formula, whatever you may need. Please contact me. That's what we're here for, to help you, because if you're well, your student is well, your student is well, we are good here at school. And I think, oh yes, and the last thing that I do, one of the major portions that we know, and it sounds very scary, when we talk about crisis intervention. So crisis intervention is when a student is a threat to themselves, or if a student is a threat to others. That is handled in a very specific protocol that is not just made up by the school, it's a national protocol that we follow. And like I said, at that time, it remains confidential, but it will immediately go to you. That information will be reached out to you. And then if we need to take further steps to help your student out, we will go ahead and do that. So if you have any questions, please see me right outside after the presentation if you want to ask me any questions specifically, or you have a way to contact me. Thank you.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Ms. Morris again. I know we're all getting antsy, I need to feel the wrong language just like the kids. All right, so the next part of this stuff is going to be a little bit long, text heavy, but it is incredibly important. Your students are entering middle school, they're not elementary students anymore, and so this is it's a big adjustment for them. So the first thing I want to start off is our expectations. It's only 3. It is be a hard worker, have good attendance, and demonstrate appropriate behavior. Those are the 3 expectations. I know that some of us have been in elementary for a very long time, and it is right next door to the middle school campus, but you are not in elementary anymore. You are growing up, we have expectations, we will hold you to them, and if there are problems, we will address them. All right, but just because elementary is on the other side of that gate doesn't mean you get to behave like you're elementary. That is not your world anymore. Welcome to a new one. All right, so one of the biggest changes that we're going to encounter that is also potentially different from some other middle schools and maybe when your child goes into high school is our grading system. What I grew up with, and probably what many of you grew up with, was the A through F grading system. All right. It is a very unequal policy, and so we have gone through the process in creating a more equitable grading system. Your child in elementary school on the report cards got a 1, 2, 3, or a 4. We continue that system because that is the GPA system, the grade point average. When your student is in middle school and high school, they get a GPA that is an overall calculation of all their grades, and it's always based on that 4.0 scale. So what we do is every single assignment, no matter how many points it ends up being worth, will always be graded out of 4. And a 4 means that your child is performing above grade level. And that 4 is what equates to an A in the grade book. So I know a lot of us have that expectation of my child should have straight A's. Well, that means that your child in class is getting 4s on their assignment. That means that they are above a 7th grade level. So our expectation is that students are working hard to get 3s. That means they are proficient, that means they are at grade level, and that equates to a B on their report card. So if you see a straight row of Bs, that actually means that your child is exactly where they're supposed to be, and that is a good thing. We will review this again when we have parent conferences, but this is a system that is new to a lot of people. It takes some adjustment, and that mindset of straight A's, that's not our mindset. A 2 means that your child is approaching grade level. So they're close to it, they're not quite there. That's usually how things are going to be in the beginning of the year. Considering how the last 2 years went, that's part of growth. So a 2 would equate to C's on the report card. 1s would be your student might be having some challenges, we need to work on that. So that would equate to a D on the report card. The only time your child will receive a 0 on an assignment is if they just don't do it. Very simple. As far as citizenship grades go, when it comes to things like I'm not doing my work, or I'm just behaving in class, or I'm not turning in my work, which is why I'm getting those 0s, that gets factored into the citizenship grades. So those are letters, those are E, meaning excellent, S for satisfactory, N means improvement, and a U is unsatisfactory. So when we have parent conferences and we send home report cards, you're gonna see in that comment section how their citizenship is, and you're gonna see some notes from us about is that maybe their grades are fine, but their citizenship is low because the work isn't coming in. And then that's something that we can discuss together. So that's how you'll see that reflected. As far as distribution at the bottom there, you can cancel out the homework there that is a typo. We do not have a homework policy. Okay. That doesn't mean that your child will never do things at home. What it means is that what doesn't happen in class, what doesn't get finished, might come home. There might be other things that they'll work on as the week goes on, but we do not have a daily requirement of homework. Okay, so let's talk about awards. So we do hold an award ceremony every quarter. Late work, again, you're only going to get zeros if you're not turning in your work. That is going to overall factor into your grade at some point. You're never just going to get an empty spot for forever. So that will have an impact on awards. The way that middle school works is that we do honor roll twice a year at the end of every semester when their grades are complete. And our GPA requirements, a 3.2 or higher is what earns your student an honor roll, as well as acceptable attendance and behavior. And again, that's twice a year. We do other awards, we'll do them 4 times a year. That would be the character awards that we celebrate, but honor roll is twice a year. Presidential will be at the end of the year, and then we do physical fitness awards every quarter as well. Okay, our grading system. A lot of the other middle schools and high schools use this. It is called Jupiter Ed. It is where everything that your student turns in class and gets graded for will be recorded. Teachers leave comments in there, they leave notes. It's a great way to communicate. There will be a training on this offered after school, after the meeting today, as well as some other points in time. But this is where you're going to get your information. One of the big jumps from elementary to middle school is that we are trying to get your student to be independent and responsible for themselves. We've got 2 years to get them prepared for high school. And so this is where we start. If you bypass your student and always come to the teacher to try and understand, well, I saw a 0 here, or this is missing, can you tell me what happened? We are always going to be there to help you, but bypassing your student lets them know that they don't have to deal with the responsibility. They're the ones who have to deal with it first. And it's going to take some practice and it might be difficult, but they're the ones who are going to have to deal with the consequences of it as they go through the upper grades. So your student is your first person. Beyond that, then come to us. But we really want them to start recognizing that this is you. This is what you've done, so share it. Be proud of it or explain what happened. So you'll see all of their classes. There is a video tutorial, so it'll kind of outline everything for you, but they have math, science, ELA, history, PE, and an elective class. Those 6 classes are what are factored into their grades, all right? PE is a fully graded class. Their elective is a fully graded class. All 6 of these classes have an equal weight within their GPA. All right, so what if your student needs some help? We will have after-school study hall opportunities. You will have 7th grade, we'll send home a schedule once we've got it all put together, but you'll have at least 1 teacher in the grade level who will be available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after school. And so if this is a chance for your student to catch up on things, they need some help, whatever the reason is, we're always around after school, we're always there to help out your kid. Even if your student's not in my class, they can come to me after school because I teach the same stuff and I'm aware of everything going on in the classes next door. So that's kind of how we tag team that as a team. Those hours will be from 2:50 to 3:30. So starting right after school until 3:30. But again, we'll send home a specific schedule so you know which teachers are doing what on which days. Okay, graduation required. So this is a little bit ahead. This is for end of 8th grade promotion. The way this works is we're looking for students to pass a total of 21 of their 24 classes. One full year is 12 classes. Each semester is 6. So the goal is that every semester they pass their 6 classes. If they can get a D or higher in all of them, they are well on their road to promotion at the end of 8th grade. If they get an F in a semester in any of their classes, they can get up to 3 Fs before they are then disqualified from promotion activities. Vaccinations and physicals. So California requires all children to be immunized. Children are only exempt from immunization requirements only if a parent or guardian submits a written statement from a licensed physician that the physical condition or medical circumstances of the child are such that the requirement of immunizations is not indicated. Vaccines are being exempted. Medical exemption is permanent or temporary, and the expiration date is the exemption if the exemption is temporary. Sorry, that's a lot of X's in that one. So please provide to the health office your Tdap booster, your vaccination records, and your physical forms.
All right, we are almost done. So today at 1 o'clock, so right after we finish up with our orientation, we are going to be having a mandatory Tubular training. Now, you can choose to join the training here in person since you're already here, or you can join online if you'd rather go home and follow along from online. Or if you say, I can't make it today, we have 2 other times, Wednesday, July 27th, right after school starts at 8:15, or that same day, so that's not tomorrow, that's the next Wednesday, or that same day, right when school ends, right before school ends, it starts at 2:40. So you guys would come at 2:40, your kids would get out at 2:45, and they could join you for the end of it. They'll already be getting familiar with it in their classrooms. But this is really for parents so that you know how to access the information on Jupyter. If you would like to join on Zoom, there's a QR code there, and you can go ahead and take a picture of it. If you're planning on joining, you're planning on just sticking around, then we will see you at 1 o'clock. Also, very exciting, this year, we can have parent volunteers here on campus. So if you are interested in being a parent volunteer, it could be as little or as much as you are interested in, please scan that QR code or take a picture of it so you can access it later, and Ms. Akuya, our parent liaison, will be in contact with you. And one last QR code, and you're probably thinking this is a lot of QR codes. On the 2 blue doors are all 3 of these QR codes. So if you need to access it, again, it's on that blue door by Ms. Huddle, one of the most amazing counselors ever, by the way. You won't find a more dedicated counselor than her. And on this front door, on the blue door. So for your elective, you'll go in there, you'll find a link where you can click in order to view all of the electives and see what they are, okay? So that is in the link. And lastly, we are going to just go over the process for the rest of our time today. So you have this packet and this sheet and this sheet. I'm just going to go over these real quick. So the uniform sheet, this is again, it's printed in beautiful color. I did that because I want you to put it on your refrigerator at home, right next to this one, until you can sort of get used to the flow of middle school. And you will see on this packet right here, on the sheet right here, there's 2 boxes. It says last names A through M and last names N through Z. If your child's last name begins with A through M, then you will follow the order of the first box. If your last name of your student is N through Z, then you will follow the order of the second box. And it's basically a checklist for you to know what you need to get done right now. So if you're A through N, you're going to start by going out to the rosters, finding out who is your homeroom teacher. Then turn to the back Go ahead and turn to the back. You'll see a map. This map shows you where the teachers are that you will go and see. And then we also have our blue tables where, I don't know if we shared this with you yet, this is very exciting. 7th grade is the only grade that you get something special. You get 1 free PE uniform shirt. 8th grade does not get that. So you can head out to the blue tables. Again, follow the order on your checklist so we don't have a ton of people in one area. And you can get your free PE shirt. Don't go yet though. I'm not done yet. If you would like to buy more uniforms or more PE shirts, the Pto Shop is open. You can look at the map in order to get an idea of where it is, but it's around the building for going towards the playground, okay? Last item before I let you go, and before we take any questions. So remember how they were talking about the AUP form that needed to be signed today? Remember? The last page on your packet. Even if you decide to fill out this packet at home, please fill this out today. And on the blue tables, there's a white box that says turn in your forms here. Please make sure to turn this form into that white box. Now, if you say, I'd rather just fill out the whole packet, the blue tables are open for you to sit, take your time, fill out the packet, turn in whatever you finish there at the blue tables in that box, okay? But this one, both sides gets filled out today. All right, if you do not have any questions, you can go ahead and feel free to start heading to the next spot. If you have questions, I will be up here available to answer any of those questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Feaster Charter families. I'm going to stay on for a few minutes to answer any questions that you all may have. Please feel free to type any questions in the chat. I know that we got one question about COVID tests. Yes, we will be passing out COVID tests. We have them right now. They are here and ready for you if you would like to come by to pick them up. From there, we are just excited to have you all here. So thank you so much, everybody. Again, please add any questions that you may come up with in the chat. Thank you, everybody. I'll hang out for just a few more minutes so that we can get your questions asked and answered. If you don't have any further questions, you're more than welcome to leave this meeting, or you can stay on to see what questions we ask. I do have a question about wearing masks. Masks are optional for right now. Students are not required to wear masks. They can if they want to, but they are not required. So that's a bit of a change from when we started back last school year. We also have a question about a website where you can view the 7th grade curriculum. We don't have the curriculum available. A lot of our teachers make the curriculum themselves, or they will use a foundation, and then from there they will adjust it based on what their students need. For the adolescent growth education or sex education, your students will be able to see, and parents will be able to preview the curriculum before that's even taught, but that won't happen until the 2nd or the 3rd quarter of school. You can also follow your child's teacher on Jupiter Ed, like they talked about earlier. I'll get us back over to that Jupiter Ed slide. This Jupiter Ed program will show all of the work that your student is turning in. It's a great resource for you to message with your children. It's not necessarily the exact curriculum that they will be giving out, but it will at least show you what your students are being assigned. We have a question about the AGE course. Yes, you will have an option to opt them out. We do have some students who choose not to, or their families choose not to do AGE or that adolescent growth education. Totally fine. In middle school, it's called the Positive Prevention Program. You're more than welcome to come still, review that curriculum. but you do not have to. Your child does not have to be part of that if you would prefer to teach it yourself at home. Great, I'm glad to hear that we will see you for a COVID test. We are out front. We have them at the front office. They are kind of spread all over campus. So if you need to pick one up, come on over. It's a 7th grade roster online. You should have received an email with your child's teacher's name. We also have out in front of the office, we have a long bulletin board with all the students' rosters posted. So you will be able to tell who your child's teacher is. So if you did not yet receive that email, please come by campus and check out that bulletin board. And please do stop by with Miss Melissa and make sure that we have an updated email for you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll stay on for a few more minutes just to make sure that we get all of your questions asked and answered. Again, that Jupiter Ed meeting will start today at 1 o'clock. You're more than welcome to join. Tomorrow for PE shirt pickup. I'm not sure on that. Let me check in and see. Mrs. Ramirez, I think is still right behind me, or I might radio one of our coaches. Give me just a moment while I figure out the answer to that one. PE coaches? Hey, I have a question online from a parent asking where can students pick up their PE shirt tomorrow if they didn't attend 7th grade orientation today? Do we have a plan for that yet?
We only have owners and backup. I don't know if Ms. Ramirez has the
Awesome. Ms. Acuna, do you have an answer for that question at all? For students who weren't able to come in person to the 7th grade orientation, are they able to pick up their PE shirt tomorrow? If so, where?
Heather, we can do what we did in years prior. Anybody that didn't pick up the shirt, we'll deliver it to all our classes.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we have an official answer right from our PE coaches, Ms. Acuna, our parent liaison, and Dr. Slayman, our admin. You will be able to pick up your PE shirt. They will be delivered to your classroom. So we will hand deliver them for you all. Let's see, the coronavirus test, you will be able to pick it up at the front of the school. And you can also pick up a sweater when you are there too. We do have our uniforms for sale, or we also have our PE uniforms available. Our PE uniforms will only be available until about 1 o'clock. After that, we will no longer be passing them out because we have to close out that checklist. But you will still be able to pick up a COVID test until 3:30. Let me send you a link to the PTO store. Give me just a second to pull up that PTO store, and then you will be able to see exactly how much the uniforms cost. Please note that this school year, we are not able to accept Venmo anymore from our PTO store. We are only able to do cash only. So unfortunately, we are cash only for our PTO store. Please feel free, while I look at that information for our PTO store, please feel free to add any other questions to the chat. Okay, if you are able to open up that link, it will show you the cost of our not our PE uniforms, but our regular uniforms. For middle school, you will be looking at that second row. A sweatshirt with a logo is going to be $30. A t-shirt is going to be $15. Your PE shirt is $15. PE shorts are $15. And if you wanted a duffel bag, that's going to be $10. So that link that we just posted, it's a Canva link. It will pop open the prices for all of our PTO store swag. So I'll stay on for a few more minutes just to get any other questions asked and answered. Thank you so much, Feaster families. We appreciate you all joining virtually. If you have no further questions, you're more than welcome to exit this meeting. I'll stay on for about a minute more so that we can let y'all get your thoughts together. Thank you so much, everyone. We're excited to see you all back tomorrow. Thank you, Feaster Charter families. We hope that you have a great day. Again, if you want to pick up one of your COVID tests, come on by. We have those available. They are not mandatory. They are optional. If in case you wanted to test yourself for COVID, it is highly recommended that your child does take a COVID test before they return, but it's not mandatory. So thank you again so much, Feaster Charter families. We are looking forward to seeing you all back tomorrow. Have a great day.